Here we have one of these gamer chicks, and she's going to tell a story, which I will interrupt because it's a 4 minute long video. But here she's going to tell a story on how she got her heart broken by Tyrone Maximus, a video game buddy of hers that she found via the online. So she decided to meet up with him, and things got hit off at first, but we'll see what happened, what led to the heartbreak. Oh, Lord.
One time, I met this guy on a dating app, and we started to play Minecraft together, and we would talk every fucking night. And eventually, I met him in person. First time I met him in person, we hit it off like.
So, sorry, let me take that back. She met him off Tinder first, and then they started playing together on Minecraft, and then she decided to meet up with this dude. So, obviously, for her to even match with the guy, she said just for her to get the match, I mean, she found an attraction towards the guy off rip.
We really hit it off, if you know what I'm saying. And
Meaning now, like, remember, girls are not going to say, "Oh, we smashed." You know, we had sex. Women are not going to say that. So just for you autistic ninjas out there, what do you mean? She said she hit it off. They smashed. that's what she means.
By the end of the weekend, I asked him to be my boyfriend. So now we locked in. All right.
This girl is psycho, mind you. She said she only had met him for that week, and by the end of the weekend, after they smashed, she was already saying, "What are we? I want you to be my boyfriend." So cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
And another week goes by. My car breaks down, so he comes and picks me up and drives me back 2 hours away to his place. So now we at his place, and we're in the car, and I gotta change the music on his phone, so he gives me the password. I'm like, oh, he must really trust me. So, I type in a little password, and I make sure to remember that shit, just in case.
Like I said, cuckoo. Cuckoo already, mind you, just to let you guys know, people might not, particularly men might not, a lot of men don't understand this, where if you're dealing with a woman that really likes you, she will do shit like this. Like, she will literally look at you, put your passcode in, and she'll memorize it. And I'll be like, yo, like, I remember this one girl that we were working with. She would do that. I had to change my passcode like 2 or 3, 4 times because she would look directly at my phone while I put in my passcode in. She's like, oh, I see what passcode number you put in. And I'm talking about repeating the number too. I'm like, yo, why? But this is the stuff that women do, especially if they like you, or she's in love, or she has that attachment to you. This is what she's gonna do.
And so that night we get home, and he's showing me stuff in his phone, like pictures and shit. And I see this girl Alyssa like in his phone. I didn't say shit. I kept my mouth shut. He didn't say anything either. So I just kept looking. And that morning I woke up. He was still dead asleep. So in my mind I'm like, this is the perfect chance to check this nigga phone. So I did. And get this.
She barely knows this dude. Mind you, barely knows this dude. And first of all, he's already doing a lot for her, technically, for because people just think that Chads and Tyrones, they're just not doing nothing for the broads that they with. That's not true most times. That's not true. I'll say that's not true a lot of the time. A lot of times they'll still do stuff like this, drive an hour, drive 2 hours to help a bitch out if she has a flat tire and stuff like that. They still do stuff with a bitch, but there's other bitches that they do. That's just the thing. They don't like the women in those situations. A lot of them don't understand that they're not the only one. They're not that, special. And instead of just accepting that situation, they just take out their frustration of not being able to not keep Tyrone, monogamous, and they take out that frustration on all the rest of the regular dudes.
I go straight to Alyssa. She's the first person in his text messages. First thing I see, bro. I love you and I miss you so much. Like, come on. Did you really just do this to me? So the first thing I do, I roll up.
I'll say this though. Like, any woman that would have, like, I remember the few times a woman has done that to me, because it doesn't happen often. But when they start feeling territorial, or they'll start saying, "Can I check your phone?" The few times that has happened, I've always passed that test. Nope, you cannot check my phone. Who are you? I don't be asking you for your phone. Why you want to check mine? Because I already know what I'm gonna find on your phone. But now they want to make that offensive move. They think they Kobe. Nah. I remember one chick. I was like, look, either do you want to check my phone, or do you want to be happy? And she was just shocked that I said that. And maybe because she thought that she was giving me a chance, that she just thought I was just going to abide by what she says. But I'm like, no, this is my ting here. This is my phone. Because it's not just about, oh, you trying to hide your bitches, Chris? No, it's just, I don't trust most people with my phone anyways. You don't never know. People will put tracking devices on your phone, put a tracking app on your phone, do some weird stuff where they can see what's going on your phone, have your phone on screen record, and they can see what's going on. Man, please, I don't got time for these these high school games, man. But anyways,
obviously, and I go smoke a blunt. Yeah, and I come back to the hotel room, and he's just sitting there looking at me like, "Are you okay? Did something happen?" This nigga got to know what the fuck happened. So I just look at him and I'm like, "Nah, but I'm ready to go home. I had a family emergency, so can you take me the fuck home?" And he said, "Okay." So we got in the car. I wasn't gonna say shit till he got in my driveway, because I really don't know him for real. But you know me, I can hold that shit in. So I said, "Who's Alyssa?" All he did was, and he didn't say shit. So I said, "Well, I guess that answers it."
well, and at the end of the day, you kind of invaded Broski's privacy, so he kind of has a right to be like, bruh, like, first of all, why are you looking through his phone after he helped you? Your car breaks down and you try to do some private investigating, even though he's helping you after driving what? How many hours? Oh, Lord have mercy. But anyways, but by the way, why can't you just settle for being one of his many bitches? That's my question to broads like this. Because instead of finding a guy at your level, you're clearly dating a guy that's way above your level. Why don't you just settle for being one of his bitches? But no, you you want things your way. And even though he's helping you, still, which actually should be a good sign that you could be probably considered as the woman at the number one slot. But since you want to play, private investigator, even though you barely know the dude, now you're gonna ruin your own happiness. Of course, he's gonna have other bitches. A guy like that, because first of all, if you match with him on Tinder, and you already know most men are not even getting. I'm talking about most men getting zero swipes on Tinder. That's what I'm talking about. And the swipe is not about. You know what I mean? So clearly, the dude that you find, just a heads up for any woman that's if you find a dude attractive, that means there's like a gazillion. Just a heads up. Because women find most men not attractive. I'm talking about most women. They did the study, the research is off the dating apps, where basically women will only find 10 to 15% of the men attractive. But here's the kicker: the rest of the men that are not that, they don't find them, in the middle or average. They find the rest of the men that are not the 10% below average, not even deemed average, just below average. So if you matched with him on Tinder, chances are he has literally a whole stable of women that he has to tend to. I'm sorry. It's most likely that's going to be the situation. But women like this are not only selfish, but it's not only crazy, but just selfish as well. You're going to have to share him.
I guess that answers it. And after that, get this, his car breaks down. Yes, thank you, God. I love spending time with him. Thank you. So now I'm like, fuck. And now we're at a football field, and I'm waiting for him to figure out how he's going to get me home, bro. And I gave him 5 hours to figure this shit out. During that 5 hours, I go on Instagram, I find Alyssa, and I send her a picture of him like, this your man.
Yo, this bitch crazy, though. This is why you can't have, I'm sorry, like, there's no way a woman could be on my phone. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. This is the nonsense I got to deal with.
Yeah. So then, like a couple minutes later, I see him get up and walk across the football field and get on the phone. So I know what's happening. And while he's there, I go on her Instagram and I'm looking at her because, I'm a little curious. Come to find out, this girl has my facial features, bro, my skin color, and we have the same color hair. She literally, me and her are almost carbon copies of each other. It is actually insane. As soon as I saw that shit, I put my phone down, I stood up, I just looked around, bro. I literally had to look around like, is this fucking real life? And then I started crying.
What is it with bitches not understanding that they average? Like, okay, you have these bitches, they think because they are a gamer girl or they're a sports gal or what, they think they're special. Like, they really think that strategy, because they're not, they're not going into these spots to be with like another gamer boy or a sports boy, or particularly in her spot, another nerd boy. They're not looking for another nerd boy. She wants um to go in that spot looking for basically um Henry Cavill, but in dork uniform, if that makes sense, right? So that's really their play here, but they don't understand like they're still the same average broad. So they will come across the bish that their man is also talking to, and they just be shocked that they're almost carbon copies of each other, or there's a similarity there, or she finds out that the other girl that he's tending to is uglier than her, and they're just like, how could this be? Well, you're average, but because she thinks, actually, let me save that second part of what I also think.
You know what? I ain't a pussy ass bitch, but this has never happened to me before. I was this close to being in love with this nigga. So yes, I'm crying. And then
In a week, mind you, in a week.
I get myself together. I call my dad. I say, Dad, I need you to pick me the fuck up now. And he does.
Yeah, girls like that, you can't pipe. Girls like that, you cannot pipe. Unless you want people, somebody stalking you or keying your car. Don't do that. So I found her Instagram, right? So this is the typical, half breed gamer girl that thinks she's cute. I'm not saying she's not, but she thinks she thinks her sexual market value is a little bit higher than it really is. Like, I would say, going by these pics, what are they saying? Damn, this is 133 weeks. So this is from like 2 years ago. So she might still be in high school in that one. So let me not even use these pics. But going by these pics, and she does have a TikTok as well. She has a viral TikTok, but she doesn't really put herself on there, it looks like. But going by the pics, I would say she is I'll say she's a solid 6 out of 10. I'll say a strong 6. She's a strong 6. And I'll say this. Well, she's talking, they saying that ninja take it. Oh, they're talking about the dude now. But here's the thing with girls like this, they think, because they're so used to being in these male spaces and in them getting all the attention, because she is a strong 6 out of 10. But if a strong 6 out of 10 girl enters a male space, or she's entering like a job force where it's mostly male, she instantly gets bumped into like an 8 or a 9 because she's the only girl there. But really, in the grand scheme of things, she's not really that standout-ish. She is a half breed, so that does help her. But, respectfully, of course, this would be like some like I would say this. I wouldn't say 6. I would say I'm gonna keep it about like a strong 5, a strong 5, a strong 5, or I was being generous with a strong 6, but definitely I'll say a strong 5, strong 5, strong 5. But a lot of guys got to understand, girls like her, she's not looking for another nerd girl. She's looking for Chad, or in her case, Tyrone. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was a Chaddington, but the way that she described Broski, where basically when she found out about the other woman, he was like, well, she found out. Just so nonchalant. Yeah. So this is clearly a dude that's at the end of the day, he just understood, well, I just lost another one, and he'll find another girl just like her, like he already did. Right. So it's unfortunate that women like this get their get that reality check. And when she probably saw the Instagram of the girl that looked like her, that was the harsh reality check, that she was just one of many, not just numerically, but like literally one of many. And this is why I try to tell dudes, the more options you gain, or the more you operate, or the more girls that you end up getting with, you'll see there's not, there could be a difference of skin tone, skin color, race, etc., etc. But once you start seeing the similarities, there will be no need for you to simp. Like a lot of dudes with control issues, usually when one of their broads find out that, oh, she found out about the other bitch, they usually flip out and they go into probably a rage, or they start yelling at the bitch for looking at her phone. But he seemed mad chill about it. That's how you know he got mad bitches. Like that's how you know he got mad bitches. He's just like, well, she found out. But that's that's life right there. But yeah, let me know what you think about this story. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.